Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to your September 2023 horoscope. Um, as promised in my August horoscope, I'm ditching the AI voice and I'm I got the nerve to record my own voice to make it a little bit more personable. So, glad to have you back if you're a returning visitor, and a big welcome to new viewers. Please don't forget to hit the like button if you're satisfied with the content. It does help boost my channel, and consider subscribing to help me as I build up this channel. Okay, you already know what to do, so let's get into this. In this video, I will give you your main theme of September, and then I will summarize some of September's major planetary dynamics and how that may affect you. I'll do a quick revisit of a couple of astrological events in the past, since we have retrograde planets and repeating aspects. And finally, one or two things to look forward to in the future. So, first and in general, September has a theme of, if I was to title it, it would be Hurry Up and Wait. Almost like August's laid back approach. Nothing really major happening. Well, that depends on your natal chart, but nothing really major happening. It's still just working and organizing, getting things together. Excuse me. Mainly because we have six planets in retrograde. And I'll also mention the seventh minor body of Chiron, or is it Chiron? But I will touch on this later. The main theme for you in September is dominated by Virgo, where the Sun and currently Mercury retrograde is. Virgo is your 10th house of career, status, charitable work, academic career, authority figures, and publishing, the World Wide Web. Um, so let's mention Pluto first. It is retrograde in Capricorn, which is not only your second house of job and values, but Pluto is also natally the 10th house of career and status. Since Pluto is involved, um, there are issues with control and power regarding your money and or values or your income, job, that's reverberating back from the end of 2022 through to March 2023 of this year. Excuse me. So think back to then as it ties in with this month's review of your career or status role in September. Who you are, what you want to do, and what you are infamous for is on review by you and others. And when I say others, I'm mainly saying about bosses, authority figures, or people that have some type of control or and control over you in this month. I mentioned the debates that you had from December last year through to March this year because the conversations you had during those 4 months resulted in unexpected demotions, promotions, and reshufflements, almost in a jarring way, maybe, which threw you into a more powerful position by the end of March, April, going into May regarding your job and income or value system. The consequences of those shifts are also coming into play this month. Yes, you are in a stronger position now, and the sun in Virgo is shining a spotlight on what you are capable of, especially with a new opportunity developing for you at the Virgo new moon on September 14th. On or about this new moon, the seed of something big in your career house, the 10th house, is being planted. If you have Virgo factors in your natal chart, something regarding your 10th house of career and status was also initiated behind the scenes at the end of July, starting then. Um, and you started working on it in earnest. Whether this is a new business, a career move, academic or charitable venture, there is some contingency about learning something new to advance this shiny new adventure to which sky is the limit. And what an exciting adventure it will be for the most optimistic and luckiest sign of the zodiac, as we also spy Fortuna, Bacchus, and Cupido in the sign of Sagittarius. So luck, revelry, popularity, attraction, and desire are all in your corner with this new Virgo moon on the 14th. My only instruction is, since Sagittarians tend to really care about the bigger picture more and are uh, almost annoyed with details. Um, the problem is it is Virgo. Virgo is the detail oriented, almost meticulous sign ruling your 10th house of power brokers. So these authority figures will be scrutinizing the practicality of your big ideas and, in turn, your attention to detail. Let me give you some examples. Let's say you are an ingenious salesperson, being able to sell even free water because you can creatively create the demand for it. Fantastic, great. But will you or your company be able to handle the supply? So that's where the details come in. Or you inherently understand the art of socio-diplomatic relations and you want to get into international conflict resolution or the UN. Um, but do you have the patience to research, learn, and understand international law, which is very tedious? So that's where the details come in. And again, or maybe you get excited about a relationship at a distance or with a foreigner. Um, but will you be able to put in the work for the practicality of having trust and intimacy being challenged? Again, details, scheduling is scrutinized here. It can be a myriad of scenarios for you personally and depending on your personal chart. But the point is the devil is in the detail with Virgo. And if you just don't do details, um, like you cannot be bothered with it, you can't discipline yourself to do it, then try to delegate or employ means of handling the practicality and details of your big ideas. In other words, consider maybe an assistant, maybe a tutor, or even a life coach. And these are just three examples which help you anticipate details and blind spots. Because this is an important, maybe even life changing career opportunity coming up for you, Sagittarius. The universe has lined up the stars in your favor, as I mentioned before. And it's not a matter of seizing it. It's it's really already yours, but it's the details that can disrupt it. As a friend once told me, I have no problem finding partners. Problem is keeping them. Um, so yeah, keep your eye on the ball, organize, delegate, and schedule, and you will bag this. Okay, back to the cosmological lineup in September. Well, first, let me let me hit on, let's see, on the retrograde planets. Okay, um, retrograde planets. Saturn is in Pisces retrograde. Pisces is your fourth house of home and family. Neptune is also in Pisces, the same spot. That's retrograde. Pluto in Capricorn is retrograde, and it is your second house of job and income and your value system, what you will and will not sell out for. Uranus is also in Taurus, and that is in retrograde. This is your sixth house of health, habits, routines, scheduling. Um, and we have currently Mercury retrograde in Virgo as well. Virgo is your 10th house of career and status. And then finally, we have Chiron in Aries. And Aries is your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, pets, and yes, even gambling. So these are the retrograde planets. And retrograde planets really um, ask you the question: Are you happy with how you've been handling these areas, or the dynamics that you've encountered with them? Retrograde planets let you review um, your actions and decisions and others, and then when they station direct, you can implement the changes that you think will help you figure out these areas. But retrograde planets, yeah, they slow down, so there's not much action happening, and it's a time for review and organize to make changes. All right, so enough of the retrograde planets. Now, going back to my notes. Oh, yes, let's start with your with the September lineup. So on the 3rd, Venus is in Leo, stations direct to go forward. And Leo is your ninth house of travel, higher education, philosophy, um, people at a distance, foreign people, foreign countries, um, publishing, the World Wide Web. So Venus going direct in this area will start smoothing out any problems you may have had um, in that area. So, for example, maybe you wanted to travel in August and you just couldn't for whatever reason. From the 3rd and on, it will start smoothing out these things, and you'll find the opportunities to travel. That's just one example, but that household, is, like I said, is much more involved. The next day, however, Jupiter, which is in Taurus, and it's your sixth house of health and habits, routine, service to others, um, is going to station and then retrograde in Taurus. So, since Jupiter entered Taurus back in April, um, your plate became huge with tasks, with scheduling, with a routine. Your routine started changing on a dime and became much more hectic. Maybe you had an issue with a health situation, um, or you started maybe an exercise routine, and it expanded and expanded. Um, well, it's stopping, and it's going to review the past few months that it's been in there, and you are going to relook at how you break up your day. So ultimately, it's the best way to break up the sixth house is to have 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of work, and 8 hours of fun and relaxation. You Since Jupiter is in this house and it's lighting it up and throwing a lot on your plate, you cannot compromise one for the other. You can't compromise your sleep for work, or compromise your fun time for work, because your health will suffer, and it will suffer where it will mess up your routine and your scheduling. So pay attention. It's reviewing now, so it's going to slow down a little bit, um, so that you can better schedule your time. Okay, the same day, Mercury in Virgo, your 10th house of career and status, will trine Jupiter in Taurus, your 6th house. Excuse me, for the second time. The first time that happened was early in August, on the 9th of August. So, some kind of information about your career um, was helping your um, Taurus house, which is your health and routine. Some information was relayed then. So, think back to then, and what what calm aspect that happened then on August 9th, and this will happen again in a few more days on the 4th, and it will do it again the third time at the end of the month, but I'll explain that later. Okay, on the 8th, so 4 days later, the Sun in Virgo, again your 10th house, will trine Jupiter in Taurus, your 6th house. Um, so what's happening is on the 4th, you're getting information about your career that's going to help your routine. Then on the 8th, 4 days later, the sun comes in and shines a spotlight on on that and helps you implement that information, um, to to go forward on it. Excuse me. Okay, on the 13th, we have minor um, bodies of Pallas entering Libra. Libra is your 11th house of friends and goals, associations, hopes and dreams. Um, and it's at 0 degrees Libra. And I usually don't mention these minor planets, but when it's at 0 degrees like this, it's significant and I like to mention it. Um, so, yeah, there's another minor body of Vesta, which enters nurturing and family oriented Cancer, which Cancer is your 8th house of sex, death, and taxes. That's just the title of that house, but it's really referring to intimacy, death. It can mean a literal death, but no astrologer can predict death. Um, so it's really allegorical here. Um, Something that is ending and something new will begin. So, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. And then taxes, it can mean taxes, but the 8th house is the house of money, of other people's money that you benefit from. Um, so maybe a partner's income, maybe an inheritance, um, gifts, lump sums of money, or it can be, tax returns or credit, loans, anything government um, related money as well. So Vesta is entering that at 0 degrees. So on the 13th, you might hear something about those two areas, your house of friends and then your 8th house of other people's money. The next day on the 14th, ta-da! The new moon in Virgo, your 10th house of career and status. And on or about the 14th, you will either have a new opportunity in your career and status house that will be presented to you, or you yourself can plant the seeds of career and status um, to an authority figure. Um, So, yeah, look to the 14th. This new moon in Virgo is important for you. Okay, on the 15th, the small planet of Ceres enters Scorpio. Scorpio is your 12th house of secrets, behind the scenes, dreams, intuitions, institutions, confining institutions like hospitals and prisons, self undoing. And it is also the house of hidden enemies. Um, so that's entering at 0 degrees Scorpio. And Ceres is the original negotiator. She negotiated with Pluto to return her daughter, which he abducted and took to the underworld. Um, so they shared her thereafter, after that negotiation. So, compromise, anything with compromise or negotiation in your 12th house will start occurring if there is if there is a problem. Excuse me. The same day, Mercury in Virgo stations direct to go forward in your 10th house. And but yet I want you to be careful because it's still in shadow. It will not leave its shadow until the end of the month. So if you had plans A and B because of the retrograde, um, do still have plan C, because nothing is in stone, even with Mercury stationing to go direct. Uh, Things that you agree on between the 15th and the end of the month might change again. Okay, on the 17th, Venus in Leo. Leo, again, is your ninth house of travel and academics and publishing, will square Jupiter in Taurus, your sixth house of health and routine. And this will happen the third time. Um, and to if you want to know specifically what it's regarding, the first time it happened was June 11th, and then the second time was a couple of weeks ago on August 22nd. And on the 17th of this month, it will do it a third time. Now, squares and oppositions, a lot of people are afraid of squares and oppositions, of hard aspects like this. I actually like them because they jumpstart something that has been stagnant, um, or is it loggerheads? Um, Squares will will start moving. Will find a solution, either or. So yeah, so on the 17th, you have that square between your ninth house and your sixth house, and it will happen for the third time. Um, so look to that, and I think that's a good aspect. Again, don't be afraid of squares and oppositions. Okay, on the 19th, the Sun in Virgo, the 10th house of career and status, will oppose Neptune in Pisces, your fourth house of home and family and parents or your tribe. Again, it's an opposition, it'll oppose it. So, something about your career and status is not sitting well with your home and family or your tribe. Um, and again, I think it's oppositions are good because when it opposes, then there's communication. Well, how can we, get past this opposition? What solution can we have? Where's the compromise? Um, so that happens when the 19th. So look to that. And I can give you examples, but I'm not going to get into that because it can be different for different stages, and it's all dependent. But you get the main thing. Okay, on to September 21st, the Sun in Virgo will trine Pluto in Capricorn, your second house of job and value. So something about your Your career and status is being favorable. It's giving a favorable boost to your income house and your value house. Trines are softer aspects, so some of you might not even feel it, um, but they're favorable aspects. So look to the 21st for your career and status giving a boost to your job, income, and value system. Good stuff. Okay, September 23rd, the sun enters Libra, and Libra is your 11th house of friends, groups, associations, um, hopes, wishes, and dreams. It is a very important house for the Sagittarius, because they do love their friends and groups. So this sun will shine a spotlight on that area, and you will be busy by being contacted by friends and groups, or you will be doing the contacting. Um, yeah. So the next thing for September is on the 25th. Mercury in Virgo, which is again your 10th house, will trine Jupiter in Taurus, your 6th house. And this is the third aspect, the third time it's happening, as I mentioned earlier to you, um, that will happen is on the 25th. So the first time was August 9th, this happened. Second time was, or because I'm recording this on the first, this is the second time will be in a few days on the 4th. And the third and final time will be on the 25th of September. So information about your career and status is helping um, your sixth house of health and routine, scheduling, and service to others. So it's good news. Again, it's a soft aspect. Some of you may not feel it, but it's a good thing happening there. Okay, finally, the month ends on the 29th. Well, Mercury comes out of its shadow, so any agreements from then on are are good to go. But on the 29th, also, there's a full moon in Aries. Aries is your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, pets, and yes, even gambling. Um, Romance here is not really marriage romance, it's true love and romance. Um, and this full moon has a little opposition or a hard aspect, but if you have anything at 6 degrees of Aries, you will be impacted by this full moon, but mainly it will be an ending or a culmination or it's something coming to fruition about any one of these things in the fifth house for you on the 29th. Okay, so those are all your um, September lineup. Let me just go back to my notes and see what else I have for you. Okay, oh yeah, a quick look to a future transit is Jupiter turns direct in Taurus, your sixth house of health and routine, in January 2024 next year. And it will trine yummy Pluto in Capricorn, your second house of job, income, and value. That is a lucky and fortunate aspect regarding your health and scheduling, having a positive impact on your job and income. This is also setting up some type of surprising windfall, or you become busier with your routine or clientele. Later in May, as Jupiter in Taurus, your sixth house will trine surprising and shocking Uranus in Taurus. So look for something surprising in May regarding your routine. That's going to be good. Okay, there will be some hard aspects, but which may focus your attention. Again, sorry, the audio cut off, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is like the fourth or fifth time I'm recording this. Can anyone say Mercury retrograde? Um, yeah, so I was talking about there may be some hard aspects. Some Sagittarians may feel that, again, depending on your natal chart. But for the main, for the month of September, nothing really major is happening except for those repeat aspects that you can look out for. And I'll also have dedicated videos for Saturn and Pluto um, coming soon. I know I mentioned that in August too, but I still have my full time job, so I'm doing this. I love this doing astrology. It's a hobby, and I'd like to build it and build it. But yeah, I will add to the lineup of videos, dedicated videos on other things. But however, and on the whole, September's rumbling of exciting new changes in your home, um, career, job, and health is made clear by the universe setting you up for success. By, yes, throwing a lot on your plate, but helping you get a handle on loose ends and organize. And the trick is organize, and organize some more to be successful, and delegate. Don't forget to employ like people to help you out with that. Maybe use AI um, to um make your schedule a little bit easier. An exciting new adventure is in the works for our charismatic Sagittarians, and that is exactly how you like it. Also, the only other thing I'll mention is that Sagittarians will be moving. Um, if you haven't already moved, you will be moving. Um, but this home and family move will be somehow constricted or constraining. I mean, it won't be horrible. Um, it's a Saturn in Pisces. It's going to give you structure and foundation, and it's a psychological house, the fourth house. But there is a move, and it is going to be very beneficial to a lot of Sagittarians. It will ground you um, a lot, but you still have Pisces there, dreamy Pisces, to make any constraining place um, dreamy uh, and beautiful. Anyway, I hope you liked it. Please remember to hit the like button, and then, oh, and also just throw me some comments of how you like this content and setup versus August's. Um, and yeah, I'd love to get feedback so I can improve on this. Anyway, good luck, and I will see you in the next video. I'll talk to you then. Thank you, Sages. Bye bye.